into destruction and pulling them out, saving them, delivering them, rescuing them, has a blessing. That is the mentality of people who serve. He is doing it on behalf of God, for the interest of God. Man is perishing. You don't laugh and say, I don't know which class this one is living in. Beating him. You know you can't just join for fun. They have a reason. You are not serving interest of God. Interest of God is to save life, to seek the lost and bring them out in whatever capacity and form. And Job knew this. Say, the blessing that comes by helping a man who is dying, whether in sin, whether in accident, whether in mob justice, regardless of whether they are born again or not, is in itself an action of love for God and an action called service to God himself directly. Amen? He said, I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. Look at that. He was so deliberate. He was looking for the blessing that come from making widows celebrate, not joining the in-laws to take away what belongs to the children of your brother, your sister, your cousin, your whoever. This woman is no longer relevant here. The husband has died. And you are part of those who are, and you are born again. Or even you're not born again. And you are harassing, troubling orphans, troubling all this, the widows of life. No, Job knew something different. He is described by God as serving God, and I've told you, service simply means meeting the needs of mankind on behalf of God. And here he goes, helping widows and making them sing for joy. Whatever would have been taken from them is protected by Job. Whatever they needed that the husband would have provided, but it's not there, is taken care of by Job. He would take school fees and rent and upkeep and get jobs for children, orphans, and all these kind of guys. You know, and that in itself brought joy in the hearts of those widows, and Job and the favor of God for that kind of, meeting the needs of those people. 14. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. Your character defines whether you're serving the devil or God. God says you shall not worship other gods and serve them. Amen? Anywhere you do your obeisance, you do your character, you serve the interest of those particular deities. If your interest is in fornication, adultery, you are serving the interest of that God. If your interests are in character that glorifies God, then you are serving God in righteousness. So you can serve the devil in wickedness, but you can also serve God in righteousness. Right living in itself is service unto God. Amen? Sinful living is in itself serving the devil. The Bible talks about it very many places, that sexual morality is idolatry in itself. He says, I put on, my judgment was as a robe and a diadem. His wisdom to decide issues of life was like a diadem and a turban, a cloth, a headscarf of a kind. And he says, I was eyes to the blind. I was eyes to the blind. He would help the blind people to live a life like they were not blind. Hey, follow this way. Do this one. Get this. He would discover he was creative enough to make ways that will make the blind people find their way, movement, and doing other things. Almost like maybe he was having in our present day, maybe he gave them wheelchairs. We don't know. But he says he was feet to the lame. I was a father to the poor. That when they have need, they don't need to worry that their father died, or that they are poor, or they have nothing to do. He was there for their sake. All this wealth we have read was not for self-aggrandizement, was not for self-glorification, was not for self-comfort only. It was also meant to do what God intended in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. And you shall use the vast resources of the earth for the service of God and man. This is what he was doing. I remember how he would directly serve God by sacrificing to God on behalf of his children who don't bother about their relationship with God on their own. I was the father of the poor, and the cause which I knew not, I searched out. Look at verse 17. He said, and I break the jaws of the wicked and pluck the spoil out of his teeth. The wicked that rob people, that take things from people by corrupt means. Job says he dealt with them. Righteousness does not just mean, being kind only. It means being ruthless to wickedness of all